there is another group of karma. That is, that karma, as I mentioned before, that karma which is still dormant, that hasn't manifested yet. Those seeds of karma which are waiting for the right conditions, for the right circumstances, for the right time to germinate and to manifest. What do we do about those? The Master said, the effects of actions already performed are more or less predestined, because the causes are there, therefore the results have to come. But, he said, they can be modified or completely eliminated. How? Through willpower, through meditation, through prayer, through mediation by the Guru, and through the grace of God. And then he said, you must remove now the undesirable results you have brought about by wrong actions of the past. God helps those that help themselves, and you ask Him to help them. It is the power of God that will help you. Now, he said, forget the past, for it is beyond your domain. Forget the future, for it is beyond your reach. Control the present. Live supremely well now, meaning in harmony with God's laws. It will whitewash the dark past and compel the future to be bright when it arrives. This is the way of the wise. You know, as I said before, the Master did not talk from intellect. This is wisdom. This comes from God. And he said, if a soul is determined enough and meditates a great deal, he can destroy all the bad karma of his past lives in this one life. The fire of deep and constant meditation cauterizes the brain grooves, which contain the records of bad karmic tendencies of past lives, and thus overcomes their hidden evil. And the answer to this is, again, meditate. Practice the techniques, because he said, whenever you practice the techniques, and he lists them, and there is the basic techniques, energization exercises, Hangsa, Om technique, and particularly Kriya. He said, whenever you practice these techniques, past bad karma is destroyed. You have to have faith in the Guru's words. He wouldn't lie to you. And this is an action which is so subtle, you do not notice it. Just practice, and you will know. Things which you never dreamed of you could overcome. All of a sudden it's gone. Your consciousness has changed. That's why the Master used to say to us, you practicing, the time will come when you will not recognize yourselves anymore. You are changed. So, whenever I repeat this, whenever you practice the techniques meditatively, karma is destroyed. So these techniques are not just simply to interiorize the energy and the consciousness. This is one aspect, sure. And to calm the body and calm the mind, sure. These are tremendous aspects of those techniques. But there is another aspect, and that is the destruction of the latent seed impulses of karma. And then he gave another method. And I want to read this to you. First of all, he says, karmic seeds can be destroyed in the flames of cosmic power kindled in the brain by the practice of the SRF yogic techniques. A tremendous statement. That's why in the beginning we cannot appreciate the teachings of the Master. But gradually, as you go on practicing and you gain a deeper understanding, through awakening of intuition, you really begin to learn to know what He is and what He gave us. And then now the other method, he said, during deep meditation, the yogi feels peace throughout his body. And the power of concentration at the point between the eyebrows. Whenever he wants to rid the brain cells of the seeds of some past karmic tendency, he should switch that ray-like power of peace and concentration to the brain. He should draw into the brain the peace felt throughout the body and the power of concentration experienced between the eyebrows, and feeling that peace and concentration as a vast but soothing vibratory force destroying past bad karmic seeds. You understand? After the techniques, when you're quiet, you're still, peaceful, concentrated, just visualize. Like a ray of light, of peace, concentration going into your brain. And it is that light of God which eliminates past karma. Simple. Try it. Works. And the mediation by the Guru. His master said, if you are in tune with me, I can take your karma. If you are not in tune, I cannot, because you shut me out. How are we in tune? Living the life, practicing his teachings, devotion to the Guru. I don't want to go into that because we have an extra class on Guru-disciple relationship. Now with all this talk about karma, we have to understand that karma is a dual force, as I have said before in the beginning, but it works only in the realm of creation. It cannot work in that dimension where there is no duality, where there is no change, where there is no relativity, meaning in God's consciousness. You know what that means? The soul is part of God. The soul has no karma because the soul does not act. All actions are performed by the instruments of the soul only. The body, the mind, the senses, the brain, the feeling, emotions, not by the soul. Soul is actionless. Soul is perfect. No matter how bad karma a person may have, how much bad karma, soul is not touched by that karma. So the question comes, why in the world did he put us here? Wow. In Isaiah, it says, I am the Lord and there is none else. I have formed the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Why? Well, one explanation is he wanted to have a show. But the human mind cannot really understand it. In Isaiah also it says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And only when you are going into the higher state of consciousness, superconsciousness, you understand why He created all this. And if you have that experience, you cannot explain it. Each individually has to go and get that wisdom, that knowledge, through the superconscious. Mrinalini Mata, the vice president, she told us a story about many years ago when she was a young girl. She was talking with Master, and she, as a young girl, she said, Master, if I were Divine Mother, I would make a nicer creation. One not with so strong contrast and all that suffering. And Master said, you first become Divine Mother. And then you would do exactly the same as she did. Exactly the same. We just cannot understand that. There was one saint, a Christian saint, said, after having the insight through superconscious experience, she said, God is always completely pleased with Himself. And with all His works. And then she said, God shall make it known to us in the divine consciousness. In knowing it, we shall see in truth the reason why He allowed evil to come. And in this sight we shall endlessly rejoice in our Lord God. Endlessly rejoice. Hard to believe, isn't it? But don't take this show too seriously. Realize what is the essence behind it. What is the essence behind you or within you? What is the real you? It is the soul. It is God. Now, back to karma. Just very quickly. There are two judgments. One is the judgment by ourselves, through our own actions, our own thoughts, putting into action this law, impartial law of cause and effect. God does not judge. God does not judge. He simply created this law in order to have balance and harmony in this creation. If we are living in harmony with that law, it will work for us. If we are going against that law, we are getting hurt. But as I have said, this law can judge only the external, the ego, the body, the mind, emotions. It does not touch the soul. And then there is, according to this saint, there is a judgment, so-called judgment of God, by God. God judges us on our natural substance, meaning the soul, which is forever kept one with Him, whole and safe without end. Soul is ever perfect. For we are made for endless joy and bliss, and our natural substance, meaning the soul, is now blissful in God. Has been so since it was made and shall be so without end. That is why the Master said, From joy I came, what joy we live in, to that sacred joy I shall melt again. This goes for each one of us. And so what is the solution? Practice so that you re-identify yourself again with the soul. It's as simple as that. This is the solution. And when we talk about karma, you know, each one of us, we have plenty of good karma. The Master said only through great, good karma does one earn the opportunity to receive advanced techniques such as Kriya Yoga for the liberation of the soul from mortal bondage. Immense good karma we have. And so the Master said the key to the kingdom of God is in your hands. Use it, and while others waste their time in foolishness, you go ahead. You go home to your eternal home, the bliss of God.